So are you a pumpkin spice person? Do you do or you don't like pumpkin spice?
I'm not a pumpkin spice person. I'm into I'm one of those people, those creatures that loves to make everything from scratch. So if I have a pumpkin and I can make it into a pie and thus use spice, I'm into it.
Okay.
Anything else, no thank you.
Well, it seems to be the elixir of the gods for some people. Others can't stand it. Hey, folks, hopefully you like what you're seeing here, though. It's AMHQ Weekend, Saturday, September 19th. I'm Reynolds Wolf.
And I'm Kait Parker. It's just the two.
Yeah, it is.
Dr. Postel, he's going to join us in a minute because he's taking a little time off, but he recorded for us.
Yes, he did.
That kind man.
Hey, you know, we didn't record this week at Live VU, and you got to drive slowly out there. We're going to drive our way right into this and show you the big weather story, which will involve some of the severe storms moving into the Ohio Valley and eastern Great Lakes, Kate.
Yeah, this is how you can kind of get your Saturday planned. If you do need to scurry out the door, expect more thunderstorms in Florida, but fortunately not quite as many as we have seen recently. I'm more concerned about heading into the start of this week in the southwest.
Absolutely. With the flooding they've had there recently, the last thing you think they would need would be more rain, but that may be on the way. Just the opposite for parts of the Pacific Northwest. They're still battling the blazes. Pretty dry and warm conditions, Kate.
Yep, and then in the Northeast, warm, nice.
Yes.
You're like prolonging a little bit of summer, but could we see some stronger thunderstorms? Pennsylvania, New York. We'll get to that in just a minute.
Absolutely. Hey, let's get to this right.
You want the good news or the bad news? The good news is less rain on the way than what you've already seen. You're kind of through the thick of it. The bad news is that we're not quite done yet, right? Okay, so Invest 96L hanging out here, and you're like, what? Excuse me, Kate, why are we watching and investigating something just off the coast of Florida? What are you thinking, lady? Well, it's this boundary, and it just kind of has a natural spin to it. And whenever you throw just continuous thunderstorms on top of it, like what you see out here, see all these thunderstorms? Well, they were focused a little farther to the west here, and that helped us produce a surface circulation, right? And that's right where that boundary, that leftover trough was. So that low that is developed, it's kind of broad at this point, right? It's not real tightened, and you'll notice there aren't a lot of thunderstorms around the center. So we do have the chance of some tropical development there. It's a low chance, and we could see subtropical because we may not get that full warm core all the way through. But for now, this is what it translates into. Some showers hanging out along the Space Coast and the First Coast this morning. We're going to see some of those travel a little farther south. Some will come in south of Tampa once again, and it is because of this upper level disturbance. This is the culprit here. So this is what we're watching. This is the trough I was talking about. Still going to be enough to cause some of those showers and thunderstorms, but at least we're not getting that kind of due east movement that we were having that was causing the training of those thunderstorms over Florida. Rip current's going to be an issue for you as well at the beaches. Now, it's not as bad as if there were east wind, but still not going to be great along the southeast coast. So this is kind of how it plays out. You'll notice there are showers and thunderstorms. The good news is it's just not quite as much as what we've seen earlier this year. So Reynolds, good and bad news here, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Certainly something to watch, though. I mean, it is the season. You know, it's also the season for college football.
Labyrinth of games going on today. Columbus, Ohio State, the #1 team in the nation, is in action there, and we could see some weather impacting that game. Reynolds looking at the game and others by the numbers, giving us an idea who has the upper hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. What we've done is we've taken a look at both
project going. Let's say first things first. I need you to grab a pen from here in my garage like I just did. Grab your pencil. Let's pencil in the forecast. Okay, so it looks like Atlanta pretty nice, right? 88 degrees there. Not too shabby. You've got sunny skies, but you could see a little bit of the rough weather, especially if you're in western New York or Pennsylvania. That's where our risk of severe weather is today. And then look at this. In Texas and in the desert southwest, we have lots of moisture, and that's thanks to the increase in the monsoon. So that extra moisture, not great. But look at Denver. Great place to do those outside projects, as it is across much of the country this weekend, actually. This nice little preview to fall that we have going on. So today looks pretty nice. Tomorrow, if you have been putting off all summer that outdoor painting job because it's just simply too hot outside, guess what? You finally can get around to it, Bob. I knew you were putting... Shall we take a look at the tropics as I'm back on in here? Okay, let's talk about what's going on. We have some areas of interest, to say the least, right? Look at all that we have. This area to watch south of the Baja. This one might be piquing your interest this morning. Look at this, close to home, Invest 96L. Then we've got Tropical Depression 9 and Tropical Storm Ida. Let's start first with Ida and some of this water vapor imagery. This really tells a story for us this morning. Now you'll notice what a healthy environment Ida's in, right? Notice all the whites here, the pinks and the blues indicating that higher moisture content right around the center of circulation. Now this has some room to grow. Tropical Depression 9, however, has been ingesting all this dry air, see, from the south, and so that thing is falling apart so quickly as we go through the morning. So Tropical Depression 9, not really something we're watching as much anymore. Winds 40 miles an hour right now with Ida, and here's the deal. This thing is expected to strengthen, but it is also expected to remain out at sea, not being a problem for us or anyone. So that's what we're doing with Ida. Tropical Depression 9, I mean, can you even pin the tail on the donkey? Yeah, it's tough to see that circulation completely exposed and therefore going to die a quick death here. By the time we get to tomorrow morning, we should just be seeing a remnant low. But what about a little closer to home? What is happening with Invest 96L? Look at this. So we do have a lot of thunderstorm activity out over here. So if you're just looking at the map, you might say, oh, it's out over here. Wrong. We're looking for the circulation. This is just a little closer to home where the circulation is. All the convection, all the thunderstorms, yeah, they're on the east side of the storm, or not a storm, but the low that is developing. Let's be clear on that. If it were to become a storm, there is that chance. It could become a tropical depression or even a subtropical storm. That's a possibility. This is per the Hurricane Center, a 40% chance of development here. I want to show you why, because you were looking at that and you're like, okay, so tell me how you're getting that spin. Look at the winds at the surface. You'll notice that it is pretty elongated right now, so that's not really qualifying as a tropical cyclone. And then we don't have any persistent thunderstorm activity around the center. That's the other ingredient that we badly need. You have to have in order to have a tropical cyclone. And it doesn't really look very good that we're going to get it. In fact, as this moves to the north, yeah, there's a chance we could see some sort of conglomeration there, but it pulls away from Charleston, away from Jacksonville. You finally get a break from rain by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon. Today, I still think you're going to get the showers along the coast. At least you're not on the wet side of the storm system, though, so good news there. Rip current's also going to be a threat there. Take a look at this. This is in the Eastern Pacific, and this is something that we're keeping a very close eye on because this moisture is flowing up into the southwest, and that's going to help to enhance the monsoon. So we'll be talking more about